Fonzie after 5.
Welcome back to another episode of Fonzie After 5, my ode to late night 90s call-in radio with a holiday twist. Today, we're going to jump all the way across the pond again over to the UK to talk to the lovely Soraya Mafi. Welcome, Soraya. Today, I have with me Soraya Mafi. Soraya, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, despite the big time difference. Can you tell everybody where you are?
Yeah, so I'm in Manchester in the northwest of England. So it's 6 hours different. I'm 6 hours ahead of you there in central US. Yeah, so it's nice and dark outside and it's feeling festive, sweet.
Did you grow up in Manchester?
Yeah, I grew up on the border of Manchester and Lancashire. I feel like now I'm on the My Favourite Murder podcast, and whenever they kind of like say something about, and like they're like Lancashire, and they're like they're going to get so mad at us when they come to the country. They often hear them like Manchester, and I love it. So yeah, I was actually born kind of on a border there. So it's Northern England, which is why I have this kind of accent. And yeah, I grew up here. I went to the Royal Northern College of Music, which is based in Manchester, and then I moved to London to go to opera school at the Royal College.
And is it nice to be living back, kind of, living where you're from? Is it nice to be home?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, my fiance is from here. You know, we met before I moved to London, and he was never going to move to London. It just wasn't a city for him. And in some way, like as a singer, it would be easier to live in London just because like so much happens there, rehearsals, concerts, auditions, everything. But as I've got kind of progressed in my career, it's not as necessary. And I suppose for you guys in the US, like my God, like you're all over the place and having to fly left, right, and centre. So I can't really complain. You know, it's like a 2-hour train journey. It's just really expensive.
Well, but you probably save a lot of money by not living right in London.
Yeah, because London is pretty expensive. And also I've got a lot of friends up here, and for me it's always worked to have a bit of a distance from my work. You know, I have my home life and then I have my professional life, and there's not too much of a crossover. Obviously I've got some close friends who are in the industry, but generally it just works for me to be singer and then be Soraya at home. So
yeah. So are you in your own apartment right now?
So we actually, my partner owns a property. That's how I met him. I was renting a room in his house like 9 years ago. And when I moved back from London, we decided we'd rent somewhere together whilst he rented the whole house out as a kind of business, for him. And then we are now in the process of buying our first home together. So we moved in with his parents, just like what was going to be a few months, save a bit of money, get ready for moving, and then coronavirus hit, and we've been here. We've all been like locked down with my in-laws, but it's been amazing. They've been so great and really cool about me doing like, live stream singing in the living room and coachings and stuff. So, and me running around saying, guys, I'm doing a recording now, so quiet, So it's been a baptism of fire, but it's really sweet. And my fiance actually, he tested positive for coronavirus last week.
Oh, wow.
He's a primary school teacher, so I think that's like elementary for you guys. So yeah, 8 and 9 year olds. So it kind of felt like it was only going to be a matter of time till he got it. And thankfully, he's really not been too sick with it. And he was really cautious. Loads of people were kind of saying, I don't think you've got it, don't get the test. And he said, I'd never get sick and I've got a cough, so I'm going to check. So we finish our isolation at midnight tonight. And we've just been like in the spare room, and me and his parents have been living the dream and taking rooms. So yeah, it's been really nice, and it's nice for him to be with his family through all of this. So it's been cool.
When you were little and you had your Christmases at home with your family, did you have brothers and sisters, first of all?
Yeah. So I've got an older sister and a younger brother, and they're actually with my mum now. So my brother lives with my mum, and my sister lives on her own. So I don't know what the rules are for you guys, but if someone lives on their own at the moment in England, they can form like a bubble with another household. So she's in their bubble. So they're like one household. So she's with them for Christmas. So that's really nice.
That is really nice. That's important. When you guys were little kids, did your parents have any traditions for you? Were you a festive kind of Christmas family? Did you do lots of decorations and things?
Yeah, so my mum is super Catholic. So like there was a lot around church, and I went to a Catholic primary school. We all did. So there was a lot leading up to it, you know, all the different services and the Advent services and the pomp and circumstance of it all. And also my mum's family are Irish, and they all love singing, you know, and getting together and making music. So that was a big part, was like just singing the carols in church. And then my sister and I were both in our school choir, and it was a great choir, and we learned all the descants to the carols. So at Christmas, like everyone in the congregation was like, "Oh, it's so nice having you girls here because you can sing these, you know, descants." And that's something I'll miss this year because we can't go to church and sing for the first time, like not getting together with my family, because my sister doesn't really sing anymore, and my mum sings in church, so it's like a really special day when the three of us get together and do that. So that's kind of weird. And my mum's extended family, normally on Christmas Eve, we'd all go to my aunt's, and they'd be singing around the piano, and there'd be like meat and potato pie, which I don't know if you have that in the US, but we have like meat and potato pie with mushy peas, which is what Northern has with fish and chips, and red cabbage. It's just like a dish that we all have, and you know, mulled wine and everything, and everyone just gets merry and kind of really enjoys all of that. My father was from Iran, so he never like celebrated Christmas. He's from a Muslim country, and his mother was quite religious. His family is not so much. Like, and he, when he moved over here, never practiced Islam. So he just went along with it, and he'd come to church. He loved the singing, so it was really sweet. And they'd go all out, you know, decorating the place with tinsel. It was massive fire hazards all around. It was really magical and very much like family, you know, based. And my mum's like, she has a lot of passion and a lot of drive, but she just like throws things. So she'll like go outside and just like throw loads of lights onto anything that she can, you know. It's like she's signaling to a satellite or something. It's hilarious. But when I was younger, I was like, Mom, like make it more tasteful, only have these colors, do that. And now like, I love it. I love going to a house because it's so crazy, you know.
Did you guys do a real Christmas tree or a fake Christmas tree?
We used to do a fake one. In fact, she still has the same one, and it's like one of these you have to hook every single branch. And then when I moved out and like would live on my own, or you know, with living with Jonathan, we'd often just get a real one, just a small real one. And the one I've got behind us now is a fake one. It's got a little snow dusting on it, so it's very pretty.
It is very pretty, yeah. Do you remember any ornaments that would be on the tree when you were little? Anything that stands out as, you know, really unique or something that was special to your family?
We had a really, really, really big fairy. Like it was like a fairy angel cross, and like it was never ever stayed up. So every day it was my mum trying to get it back up again, you know. And then that was what I really remember. And we used to get, you know, you can get like sets of baubles that all match. And my mum's still got them now. She's probably had them about 20 years, like the red and gold ones that all match. And I think, I know there's some sort of painted ones, but I have no idea where they came from. But if I saw them, and I'd ask my mum, but I've never really thought about it, to be honest. I've got some of my own now that have appeared over the years. You know, sometimes when I'm traveling, when I'm singing away, I'll get something because I think it's quite a nice thing to do. You know, if you're away from your family at Christmas, it's like, oh, it's a nice way to remember that like contract when I'm away.
So that's nice. So you got to put some of your own ornaments on your in-laws' tree.
Yeah, it's really sweet. I've got like I don't know what I've got here. Well, this was actually a gift from a friend last year, and it's like a little cowbell.
Oh, how sweet is that?
Yeah, so it's really cute, like a little vintage cowbell. I quite like that one. And then this was a gift from a singing teacher, which is like a little kind of, what's it called? Like I can't remember. Is it needlepoint? I'm terrible with these kind of things, but it's really, really pretty. No, I love the kind of like handmade stuff. It's really nice.
Does your family have any traditions of Saint Nick or Santa, or I don't know what if you call it something else?
We didn't really have, like, I think Santa definitely feels more American to me. Like, we'd say Santa Claus in a song, but we'd never call him Santa. It'd be Father Christmas, always. And when I grew up, we had a tiny, tiny house, and me and my brother shared a little room. And for a while, we didn't have a door. and, and we had a bunk bed, and I was on the top. And there's like what we call the loft or the attic was right outside the entrance to our bedroom. And I would see my mum and dad like climbing up in the night and bringing all the things down. But I was like, oh, Father Christmas puts it there so they can put it out because he's really busy. Like,
oh, there you go.
Yeah. Father Christmas also wanted us all to go to the toy shop on Christmas Eve, and just point at things. So we put out like the mince pie and stuff, for him to have when he arrived. So, but it was definitely the big focus was the nativity, and Jesus and all that. That was definitely the focus of Christmas.
Yeah.
The kind of, more spiritual side of things.
Yeah, same in my family. Did you have a nativity set at home? Like a
I think I'll always have one. I mean, I'm not a practicing Catholic. Like, I love going to church. I don't know what it's like for you with what you grew up with, but I find them a very relaxing place, and I had a very nice experience like in church, and it was very much a place where all of our town went, and everyone I went from school, or the families went there. So when I go, I find it very kind of relaxing, and whatever I believe, I still like the idea that there's something more to that day than just presents in food. There's like just a time to think about whether it's, some people who have less but make more of it, I think, and just remembering that it's about the family. So that's kind of how it's translated for me over the years. Like,
yeah.
some years I have no idea what I got for Christmas that year, like,
Of course, yeah.
and even as a kid, I really wasn't that bothered. I think my brother and sister were maybe more interested, but I was always like a sociable child, and I always wanted. Maybe it's a middle child thing. I always wanted to be with my siblings, So it was more like, what did they get? Can I?
Memories of gifts.
So that's kind of how it's translated for me over the years.
Yeah, I really like that. That's really beautiful. Because I think, we like a lot of the questions I've asked people have to do with, memories of gifts and things like that. But almost across the board, everybody, it always comes back to the time they spent with the people that really meant the most to them.
Yeah, it's so true. Like,
yeah.
Some years I have no idea what I got for Christmas that year, Like,
of course, yeah.
And even as a kid, I really wasn't that bothered. I think my brother and sister were maybe more interested, but I was always like a sociable child, and I always wanted. Maybe it's a middle child thing. I always wanted to be with my siblings, So it was more like, what did they get? Can I play it with them? Like, I remember my sister had this game called Dream Phone. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
And she got it one Christmas, and I was like, oh my God, I hope she has me to play. Hope she has me to play Dream Phone with her. And she never did. And I used to listen to her like outside her bedroom, and I'd be like writing notes in my diary, like, yeah, it isn't Matt who fancies her.
That's so cute.
That's sad. Like, such sad childhood. No. So that was, for me, it was always more about the fun, aspect around my family and seeing my cousins and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and it still is very much so.
Did you always keep a diary when you were little?
Yeah, avid.
Do you still have them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they are. I did get them out at one point and read through them because they're so funny. I mean, I kept them from, I think I remember writing in this Pocahontas diary on my 8th birthday. So it was like I was given it by my auntie. So I can't remember if I have records from before then, but the Pocahontas diary started on my 8th birthday, and we went to like a theme park for my birthday, and my cousin's birthday is just after mine, so we all went together. And it's like a whole detail of the day. And at the end, I wrote, being 8 is so much better than it feels exactly the same as being 7. I can't wait till I'm 9.
Oh, that's so sweet.
and they're like full on write-ups of like the talent show, like friends have been the Spice Girls, and there's another girl who's doing like, I don't know, Bewitched, which is this Irish band over here, and we're like, we knew we were going to win when we turned up as the Spice Girls. The rest is history. I'm like, what 8-year-old thought this? Like, it's awful.
Oh, sweet though. When your family would get together with your cousins and everything around the holidays, other than your meat and potatoes and red cabbage and mushy peas, did you have any special desserts you made or anything fancy or?
No, I mean, because on actual Christmas Day, it was like all about the turkey. And my dad loved turkey. We got to the stage where we had to have 2 turkeys because he would have his own that was for him and for the dogs. So like, because my parents have massive dogs, Leon Burgers, and it was like a whole like ceremony ripping this leg off and presenting them to the dogs. Like, we like, you can't let them in until at least we've eaten some of our food because they're so big that they help themselves to everything on the table. Yeah, like, so that was always a big deal. And we never really did like, you know, a lot of people do like Christmas cakes, and a lot of my friends do, but we weren't a big dessert family. I think we ate so much. Like we were really bad at pacing ourselves. You know, so like get it all in. Oh, we're dead, and then just like fall asleep. And other than that, it's just like mince pies, constantly just nipping at them. But yeah, we never like did a cheese thing, which I'm like, why didn't we do more of that? Because cheese is amazing, you know. So that's something I've introduced over the years.
Does your partner Jonathan, does he have any favorites around that he always like would like to have this time of year?
So he's like super healthy, like super healthy. He has no vices. He's the hardest person to buy gifts for because you can't buy him a drink or chocolate or, you know, anything like that's bad for you really. So he's really difficult. I think he enjoys like, you know, just the vegetables like and gravy. Like, honestly, he'll enjoy it. It's been cooked for him and it's been put in front of him. He's just grateful. And then
Oh.
I think growing up, he always knew it was a special time of year if his mum had brought like branded what we call fizzy pop, like, you know, proper Coca-Cola or proper Pepsi. And that was like, whoa, people must be coming around. It must be Christmas. Whether he likes it or not, I don't know. But, you know, he's always, there's like a weird nostalgia for him with that.
Yeah. Did your family include the dogs in Christmas? Like, did you give presents to your dogs?
Yeah. They're big bones with bows, you know.
They must have been giant bones.
The giant bones. And like when we got Brutus, who was the first of the bigger ones, like I'll never forget, my dad got so angry with us because people were getting phone calls, you know, and a message from someone. He's like, you all need to sit down and watch whilst I present this to Brutus. Well, sorry. And like we're having to film it. He's like, are you filming it? You are filming it. Poor dog's just sat there like, give me the bone. And he presented to him. It was all very sweet. So, but one of our dogs now, he has to be grain free. He's got a bit of a sensitive tummy, so we have to find him like grain free, nice alternative treats. So,
I mean, yeah, you gotta take care of the fur children in the family. So how is your family going to? Are you going to Zoom in with the people that you can't see this year at all, or do anything like
yeah,
that?
so I'm actually allowed to go to my mum's because I'm allowed to mix. What the way it works here at the moment is, we're in tier 3. So in tier 3 on Christmas Day, 3 households can mix. Now, because my sister is technically in one household with my mum and my brother, I can go there and it's like 2 households, and then I can, like Jonathan's brother can come here. So it works out fine for 3 households. So on actual Christmas Day, I got to my mum's, which is so good. I'm so happy I can do it because there was a big worry this year that wasn't going to happen, and it's as you know, I lost my dad, and it's our first year having Christmas without him. And like last year, he wasn't really with it when we did have Christmas, but he was still here, you know. So like, I'm just glad I can be there for her. And then on Christmas Eve, when we normally do our big kind of family get together, we're doing a Christmas Zoom with, I think, a Christmas quiz, and we've done a Secret Santa through the post that my cousin organised. So that's really nice. We can all get dressed up as if we're going somewhere. You know?
So you said you're going to do a Christmas quiz?
Yeah, I think so. So, because a lot of our Zoom things have been quizzes, and my cousin who's organised this, her partner, he like does a Christmas quiz for his family every year. He has a Christmas quiz waistcoat. So,
That's
yeah,
very official.
yeah. So, and it kind of because it can be a free for all otherwise, especially with families like we're all just like blah, 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 especially in an Irish family. Yeah, it kind of curbs that a bit, keeps some control over the situation. Yeah.
That's a great idea. I love that. So what does the quiz waistcoat look like?
Sequins, colourful. Yes, it's like super super camp in the true tradition of the word. It's great.
Did your mom ever have Christmas outfits for you and your siblings? Did you get dressed up or match or anything like that?
Yeah, so me and my sister, when we were younger, we always had matching clothes, and like it was like the ribbons would match the skirt and the poofy 80s vibe, shoulders. Because we had really long hair. Like I wasn't allowed to get my hair cut until I was like 15, so my hair was really low, and
Wow.
we had like fringe, and like my hair was really thick and dark, and it was always like pigtails with bows and ribbons. So she loves that.
Just like your ENO poem. Didn't
Yeah.
give a little.
Oh my god. Yes. Literally. My mom was like, "Oh my god, I love that hair." I was, yeah, you would.
You're like, yeah, it's very familiar to me too. Do you have any traditions that you and Jonathan have started, just the two of you?
Not so much. I think because we both want to be with our families on Christmas, and we've known that like at some point it will be our family, so we want to enjoy, and be there for the other people until it gets to that stage, and then hopefully we can all join together. We did do a Christmas 2 years ago, and it was just we got engaged on the 23rd, and that year we'd all decided as two families to go to a pub in like near my hometown and do Christmas like that year, just so there wasn't the whole me driving or him driving, and then just for a few hours and then back again, or me feeling bad because I stayed Christmas Eve but I didn't stay Christmas Day night, all that kind of stuff. It just kind of
Yeah.
got rid of that, and it was such a nice day. And because we just got engaged, it was nice to have both families all together and talk about it all. And like whilst the food like it wasn't perfect and it was really busy, there was something about the hustle and bustle of being in a pub, and it just felt so cute, and there's like live music. It felt more like an event, and I think
Yeah.
it's nice to give people a year off cooking the dinner as well,
Yeah.
get a nice dress on and go out and enjoy yourself. So that was cool. And then hopefully, I think once we move in the new year, I think we'd like to do it. Well, I say I'd like to do it at our home. Start creating traditions and have both sets of families, especially now like we don't have dad, and to create like a new memory for my mum, and like make something a bit different for her.
Yeah.
Our families get on, so it's it's all good.
Soraya, thank you so much for joining me and talking to me about your family and the holidays. And I'm excited for you to get your new home in the new year and start some new traditions for your family too. Before we say goodbye, could you let me know what song you would like to hear and who you'd like to dedicate it to?
So the song I chose is "I'll Be Home for Christmas," and I wanted to dedicate this to my mum. I heard this. I love this song, and a few years ago I couldn't be home for Christmas, so it meant a lot to me then. But then we lost my dad, who was such a big part of my life, and like my mum and dad were just a little double act. And like last year we didn't think he'd make it, and he did. And this year has been so tricky for my mom, and she's just been such an inspiration, and she's kept going and through all the crisis in the world, and whilst grieving for my dad. And I wasn't sure if I would be able to see her properly in person this Christmas, so that's why I chose this song.
Well, Merry Christmas to you and your mom and your whole family. And here is "I'll Be Home for Christmas."
Thanks, Emily.
Hi there, Soraya. So nice to virtually meet you, and I wanted to fulfill your request. Emily told me all about your story and your recent loss. I'm so very sorry. And I just wanted to send this song. It's such a good song choice for you, dedicated to your mom. Merry Christmas.
Oh. Oh, that was so lovely. I thought I was going to get really sad, but it actually made me really happy. I don't like, there's something about the way she's done it. It's like a Disney princess. Oh, thank you so much, both Emilys. That was just lovely. And it makes me better because now I know I can be home. So, oh,
Yeah.
so sweet. Yeah, and thank you to Emily for that. That's absolutely gorgeous. I'm so impressed with anyone who plays the piano and sings as well.
I hope so much that you guys can meet each other sometime. I think you would just, you have very similar spirits, like just very warm and deep. You know, like I feel like you both have a core that's just beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Emily. You too.
Yeah. Thank you.
And thank you for organising all this. It's been really nice. Like I always get nervous with any kind of Zoom thing. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a little before, like always like uplifts me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, same. That's what's been the best about all of this is just walking away a little bit happier than before the call started. So thank you for that.
It's so nice. The last show my dad saw me in was that Rigoletto, and he loved it so much, you know. And that time in Seattle is like such a special time for me. So everything around that just brings back like kind of really like beautiful, but also kind of bittersweet memories, you know. So it was nice to also just reconnect with you and remember that time as well.
Yeah. Well, I hope we get another time before too long.
Candle and Mozart up in the house in Seattle.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh.
Soraya, Merry Christmas.
Darling.
Merry
Stay safe
Christmas.
and fingers crossed for the new year.
Yeah, same. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again for joining me for tonight's episode, and a very special thank you to Soraya Mafi and Emily Birsan. Soraya, thank you for joining me all the way from Manchester and sharing your really honest, beautiful feelings about the meaning of togetherness and the Christmas season. Best wishes to you and Jonathan as you buy your first new home together. Merry Christmas, everybody, and remember, it's after 5 somewhere. Fonzie after 5.